Well, hey everybody, this is Christopher with What's Brewing, and I'm here with the one and only Mr. Ethan Allen. So, Ethan, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ethan Allen. I'm the founder of Cajun Coast Coffee.
Very cool, very cool. Some of you may know that we're doing something called the Rooted Roast. We were inspired by what Ethan was doing in Morgan City. Small roaster, he had a vision. We were really excited to hear about that, and he kind of dropped a little bit of a bombshell on us. He said, "Hey, I could make some coffee for you." And we're like, "You could do what?" So, Ethan, tell us a little bit about how you started your company and what made you get going.
I was on vacation one time and a friend brought me to a coffee shop and he convinced me to try plain latte. Usually I would, have something flavored with a lot of sugar in it. And he said, if the coffee is great, you really don't need anything added to it. And that just started the whole idea of me thinking, how many other people experience coffee the way I used to? I wanted to make sure that as many people could have an excellent cup of coffee. And that's what inspired me to start Cajun Coast Coffee.
That makes sense. I'm what you would call a simple caveman. I put cream and sugar to sort of mask all of basically the coffee taste. How do you develop a palate to start, tasting coffee in its sort of natural way without putting on all these layers of condiments?
You really just have to start experimenting, trying different coffee from different places. You can look and there are single origin coffees that are, might just be from one country or one farm instead of a blend of a lot of different coffee.
Yeah, so you just have to experiment. So, I'm sure a lot of folks are like me where their palates are not as mature. We see things like flavors and notes. What does that mean when I read a coffee bag and it says it has notes or hints or some oaky, nutty, charcoal flavor? I'm a sort of primitive when it comes to this stuff. Help me and maybe those watching this kind of understand how do you sort of look to see those kind of things in a coffee blend? What do you do to sort of train your palate to appreciate that more?
I start by making the coffee black. Normally I'll add a little bit of milk at some point just because I prefer a little bit of milk in my coffee. But I'll take a few sips and kind of, I'll look at the bag and see what it says, yeah, and then try to find that in the coffee. And really, if you're drinking the coffee as hot as it could possibly be, you're not going to taste as much of that. So sometimes you might have to let it cool down a little bit. So I'll make a cup and I'll sip on it for 20-30 minutes as it cools, just tasting it at different temperatures, and eventually you get to the point where you can taste it and be like, oh yeah, I do taste the blueberry in it.
So that's actually a really good point. It's, to me, coffee is like gas in a car, right? It gets you going. Like, my day doesn't start until I drink a cup of coffee and then boom, I'm off to the races. Just thinking about this idea that the different temperatures absolutely play into experiencing flavors, I think is really interesting. A lot of folks like myself would have never gone there. We would have thought, well, don't let your coffee get cold, right? That's
yeah,
our sort of natural instinct, like drink it while it's hot. But you're saying that sometimes the degrees absolutely play into what you taste in it.
Yeah, a lot of the more delicate flavors like, floweriness or fruit, they really don't come through when it's hot. You'll get some of it, but it's really more appreciative when it's, just under scalding. You don't
burn your tongue.
Yeah, don't burn it while you're drinking the coffee.
Yeah, you can't taste notes if your taste buds are gone.
Pretty much.
So, we're making this coffee, the Rooted Roast. It's a specific blend for us. Thank you for doing that. We're really excited to partner with you on this. But tell us a little bit about what goes into making our light mode blend. Like, what makes it different maybe from some of the other blends that you've done?
The Rooted Light Mode, it's a blend of Guatemala and Ethiopia coffee, which on their own, Guatemala is usually more of a chocolatey coffee, and the Ethiopia get a little bit of fruitiness through it. I really wanted to make something that people who haven't enjoyed, small batch craft coffee, if you want to call it that, could pick up a bag and make their coffee, and it wouldn't be something that, or it would be something that anyone could enjoy.
Yeah, which we've been giving away bags and they love it. I'll be honest, and I'll tell anyone watching this, I'm not one of those people who is a coffee connoisseur. I'm not a coffee snob, nothing against those. I mean, I think it's great when you've developed and matured your ability to taste and experience coffee, and it's something I aspire to someday. But this was the first coffee that I was able to drink with no sort of extra additives and really enjoy it. And I've been drinking it several different ways. I've done percolator. For you old school folks, my wife and I still have a percolator from when we got married 16 plus years ago. So we've had it that way. That was a little hot. That does, I could tell the difference. We've done French press for years. One of my friends, Josh Johnson, he's a pastor, and he got me a French press a while ago to help sort of make me more sophisticated. And then lately we've tried pour over. And a good friend of ours at the Bayou Church, Derek Griffon, or Griff as you may know him, said that a pour over is like the best way to experience it. Would you agree with that?
Pour overs are a great way to experience coffee. It's one of the best ways to taste more of the subtle notes in coffee. The control you have with the pour over really helps bring out those flavors.
Let's talk about the dark blend. I know that's one that we've been working on, that you've been working on. The light blend I think came out first for us, and we got that sort of out to folks. Tell me about the dark mode.
With the dark mode, I wanted something that would be kind of a more traditional coffee with that smoky flavor, and for that I had to look around for different beans that I could get that flavor out of. Sumatra and Colombia are two that are really common, and they really make a great pairing. It's a darker coffee that anyone can enjoy. Personally, I don't really care for dark coffee. It's a little bit too bitter for me. But even that coffee, I could drink it black if I wanted to.
Very cool, very cool. For the Star Wars folks out there, we're very much inspired by the light side and the dark side. You do not have to be a Jedi or a Sith Lord to enjoy our coffee. But we're also, of course, a technical consulting firm. We do Apple support, so we were very much influenced by macOS Mojave that introduced this sort of automatic dark and light mode. We thought that was kind of a fun, little homage to what we do at work with our desktops to bring it to our coffee blends. So Ethan, tell us a little bit more about what your plans are for growth. So tell us about your line and maybe some things that are coming down the road for you in terms of blends that you're developing.
Right now, I've really kind of tried to get a core group of blends and single origin coffees that I find are really easy to enjoy. One thing that I want to do in the future is start experimenting more with some regions that you may have never even heard of and definitely never knew they made coffee.
Like Shriever or Chalmette.
Yeah.
Chaitanya.
We actually could grow coffee at our climate. It would taste pretty terrible, but we could grow it.
We could do it. You heard it here first. Louisiana might be the next worst coffee place to grow beans. You never know.
But so one of the things, it's finding smaller coffee from buying directly from one farmer instead of from a huge group where they just throw all their beans together. And it really lets you enjoy what that one farmer has put into his coffee, or her coffee even. That's one of the big plans I have right now. And then, finding new blends that just go well together. I really want to get a good espresso blend soon.
Nice.
Because espresso is one of my favorite ways to enjoy coffee. So
very cool. Well, so Ethan, tell everyone watching how that they can get to your coffee and buy these amazing blends.
You can find any of the coffee that I'm selling on CajunCoastCoffee.com.
Awesome. Well, this is Christopher with What's Brewing. Thank you, Ethan, for joining us today. We really appreciate taking some time out of your Saturday. Ethan's been a great partner. We're going to be launching the Rooted Roast on March 31st, right before April Fools. So there will be no marketing on April Fools because we don't want people to think this is a joke. This is a very, very serious passion project that we've had. I've wanted to do coffee for years and years and years and years, and meeting someone as talented as Ethan and someone who's been willing to do this, we're just so grateful. So check out Ethan's stuff. You'll see more on our website at rootedroast.com or rootedconsulting.org/rootedroast. We've got tons of tutorials, recipes, and you'll see all of the things that Ethan's doing, of course, on his website. So check it out. We've got a link in the description below, as well as at rootedroast.com. You'll see a link to get to Ethan's site. So thanks, Ethan. Appreciate it.
Appreciate everything y'all are helping with.
Roll that beautiful B-roll.